From his intelligence to his ambition and rebellious nature, the Sigma male is undeniably enigmatic. He's not the type of guy you can predict or totally understand. He belongs to a category of male that sits outside of the social hierarchy, so he doesn't act in a way that society expects of him. And that's just as true when it comes to dating and relationships. Finding a partner or someone to settle down with is a high priority for many single people. It's just the norm. What we've been taught is the normal way of life and what people decide they want or need to have. Whether this desire is genuine or they have somewhat been coerced into it through some form of social conditioning is another issue. But this doesn't affect the Sigma male. In fact, he feels completely the opposite, and in this video we'll be looking at 8 reasons the Sigma male tends to stay single. Number 8. Companionship is overwhelming. If the Sigma male finds himself getting involved with someone romantically, it doesn't usually take him long before he starts to feel suffocated and overwhelmed by the romantic connection, even if it's going well. He's used to living his life as a lone wolf, so it can feel quite jarring to suddenly feel like he has some sort of responsibility for someone else's happiness. Eventually, the Sigma male will find himself pining for his own space, and how things were before when his only commitment was to himself. For the Sigma who finds himself in this situation, it will usually end one of 3 ways. Either his partner will understand and give him the space and acceptance that he needs, they will be pushed away by the Sigma's behavior, or the Sigma will kill the relationship stone dead out of fear of letting it go any further. They aren't used to intertwining a romantic partner into their isolated world, so commitment can be a tough adjustment for the Sigma male. So it's much easier in his mind to just stay single and commit only to himself. Number 7. He hates confrontation and compromise. It's inevitable that with any romantic relationship there are going to be disagreements along the way, requiring the use of compromise to resolve. The Sigma male is well aware that the honeymoon phase doesn't last forever, and at some point he will have to deal with things getting rocky. The Sigma avoids drama like the plague and hates to be around any negativity or emotional conflict, as he finds it incredibly draining and a negative influence on his psyche, as does having to compromise on his way of life. Compromise is essential to the core concept of a relationship, and the Sigma detests feeling obliged to adapt his behavior or act in a certain way. Not having to compromise or to check in with a significant other, only having to answer to himself, and generally just being able to live life on his own terms, is what encourages the Sigma male to avoid letting himself get into any kind of committed relationship, and to stay single long term. Number 6. He is reserved. The Sigma male tends to stay single as he's very private and prefers to hold his cards quite close to his chest. This can result in people that don't know him to be put off by his apparent unwelcoming and standoffish vibe. But it's his introversion that causes him to be more the wallflower than the life and soul of the party. This is shown in the way that he can only talk comfortably to 1 or 2 people at a time, and how he needs a specific time and place planned in advance to meet up with a specific person. This is in stark contrast to extroverts, who are more than happy to make plans on a whim. The Sigma is a forward planner, not known for his spontaneity, and prefers to be alone, only interacting with other people if it's necessary. This introversion and lack of boldness means that when he goes out, then he's unlikely to approach anyone who catches his eye to strike up a conversation. So the frequency in which the Sigma meets new potential partners is quite low. Number 5. His goals are his priority. Being a Sigma male means he is hyper-focused on achieving his goals. These are his top priorities. By default, that means that anything else in his life comes second, and that includes romantic relationships, which he sees as not much more than distractions and therefore obstacles to his personal success. They require work, commitment, and dedication that the Sigma male truthfully just doesn't have time for. And time isn't something he's usually willing to compromise on. He is highly ambitious and knows that time is our most precious resource. If he spends time on another person, that's less time that he can dedicate to the things that are most important to him, such as advancing in his profession, completing personal projects, and working on his physical and mental health. A relationship distracts him from focusing on his goals, not leaving him with enough energy to pursue his ambitions. And this affects him so profoundly that he opts for singledom almost every time. Number 4. He rebels against social pressure and expectations. Being expected to conform to what others demand of him really wears the Sigma male down, whether it be by his friends, boss, or by society as a whole. He naturally rebels against what society dictates as acceptable. And this innate contempt for being told what's normal is displayed in a couple of ways when we apply it to his relationships. Firstly, being obliged to do things as a couple when he's not in the mood, like eat out, or being expected to socialize with his partner's friends or family, can severely deplete the Sigma male's energy levels. It's enough of an effort to socialize with the people he already knows, never mind bringing someone else and their baggage into the mix. Secondly, as a man who goes against the grain of society's standards, he doesn't appreciate the way that society implies that we need to be in a relationship in order to be happy, and how that's what is expected of us. The Sigma male doesn't believe in the one, unless of course you count the one as being himself. He believes that ultimately the most important relationship we have is the one with ourselves. And he can't stand the idea that we need a better half, as if we're not already complete by ourselves. This is complete rubbish in his opinion. He feels happier when he's in control of his daily activities and more liberated when he's not tied down, so we can see why the Sigma male often stays single. Number 3. He's extremely self-sufficient. The Sigma male may come across at times as stubborn to those who don't know him that well, but he is simply a force of true independence. He's a man who knows his own mind and who knows what he wants and never relies on anybody for anything. He doesn't need the approval of others because he only really cares about his own opinions, feelings, and decisions. The Sigma has spent so much time alone and in his head getting to know himself that he's all about fulfilling his own needs and achieving his own goals. It's due to this mindset that he's learned to become fully self-reliant and totally disregards society's notion that being with someone is more worthwhile. Any person that finds themselves in a relationship with a Sigma male must be accepting of his apparent stubbornness to get along. But before long, they will realize that having a Sigma male in their lives is worth the patience. Number 2. He enjoys his own company too much. If he had to choose one person to stay with on a deserted island, then the Sigma male would choose himself every time. As an introvert, he relishes every chance he gets to be in his own company, and as such, finding a partner isn't usually on his to-do list for the year, or ever. He's already developed the perfect relationship with himself by mastering the art of self-care and self-sufficiency. And when we add to that his many passions, hobbies, and personal goals that keep him busy, it's easy to see how a relationship doesn't factor into the life of a Sigma male too easily. Happiest when he's alone and being totally comfortable in his own skin, the Sigma male is not at all desperate to jump into a relationship, even if he can admit to seeing the benefits of being in one. He's used to being asked how he isn't lonely, but for the Sigma male, being alone doesn't equal loneliness, because when he is in his own company, he is at his happiest. Now, before we reach number 1 on our list of reasons that Sigma males stay single, we want to say thanks for making it this far. If you want to support us further and are enjoying our content, then go ahead and click on the like button to let us know what kind of content you want to see more of. Finally, number 1. He's a free spirit. Being so free-spirited, freedom is one of the most important things to a Sigma male, and he avoids anything that makes him feel trapped. Unfortunately, the dynamic of a normal relationship is such that usually being in a committed one makes him feel tied down, which just leads to anxiety and depression. While we're on the topic, it's not only the obvious freedom from relationships that the Sigma male cherishes. One of the defining characteristics of being a Sigma male is that whenever possible, he prefers to live a nomadic lifestyle. He struggles with monotony and doesn't like to live in just one place his entire life. His ambitions and goals usually include traveling the world, living abroad, experiencing different cultures, and exploring breathtaking countries. This desire for the ultimate freedom can make it difficult for Sigma males to date, as they know that they may not be sticking around for long. So they don't see the point in starting anything serious. In order to avoid heartbreak for either party further down the line, it's just much easier for the Sigma male to stay single. Thanks for watching today's video on 8 reasons that Sigma males stay single. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you can keep up to date with our latest uploads, and we'll see you in another video.